Okay, want to welcome everybody to our webinar today on a topic that is, I want to say popular, but happening. And with COVID-19, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire that's already burning, and that's avoiding caregiver burnout, especially working from home. We're all restricted at home, and it's just really tough. So today we've assembled a great team, which I'm going to introduce you shortly, to talk about a fictitious character, Tabitha, and some of the challenges, and then working together, which we kind of call Team Elder Care. That Elder Care is a team sport, to talk about how we can help you. And for those that have joined us today that are caregivers either directly or indirectly, God bless you. And you will have an aha moment, I guarantee you, during this presentation. So today, I will introduce the team, and Anne Marie from Silver Linings from North Carolina, that great team, is going to be our featured speaker, and she's going to introduce Tabitha. We were talking about the show back in the '60s, and she's challenged as a caregiver and at her wit's end. And then and she will kick it off. Anne Marie will kick it off on how she can help, but then our team, each team member, will talk about how we can help, and then we're going to open up a Q&A, which we really love. So in terms of today, I really like this picture, is my beautiful wife, Gina, who is the director and the driving force and spirit of who we are, and that's Aware Senior Care. And we provide home care. We started our agency in 2014, and now we're about 130 caregivers and 9 full-time staff. And we're blessed to be in this community and what we do, and work with the folks on this call like Marcia and Vivian and Anne Marie and a whole host of others. Speaking of Anne Marie is the owner and the driver around Silver Linings. They are our great team. I encourage you to check them out. They've helped my mom, but that's just one of the reasons why I'm kind of big on them. But they help people through counseling, and Anne Marie will talk a little bit about what they do and then how they could help someone like Tabitha. And then Vivian is you hear a term previous called care manager, which is now somewhat being replaced by aging life care professional. Really not a known profession, and a blessing to us in that they holistically can be your kind of life coach and come in holistically and manage the whole care picture and work with this entire team. So Vivian will talk about what she does in the context of how she could help Tabitha. And then kind of the closer, another great picture of Marcia at Sarah Care. We're blessed to run into Marcia early on when we were starting the agency, and Marcia is the executive director, has probably more time than she'd like to admit, time in elder care, but for 10 years has helped with seniors, with a number of them with cognitive challenges, to have joy and socialization in adult daycare. So Marcia will talk a little bit about what she does, again, in the context of how she can help Tabitha at Sarah Care. So without further ado, we all can take some deep breaths, and then I'll turn it over to Anne Marie to kick us off with some words of wisdom from the Dalai Lama. Anne Marie, you're on.
Hi. All of you can read the slides, so I'm not going to read things word for word, but the Dalai Lama has it right in dealing with those who are undergoing great suffering. If you feel burnout setting in, demoralized and exhausted, if it's best for the sake of everyone to withdraw and restore yourself, the point of having a long-term perspective. That is so true. When we talk about mental health, we talk about caregiver burnout. We're going to talk a lot about things that you can do to feel better and move your life forward in a positive direction amidst all the chaos in the pandemic. So Tabitha, obviously a fictitious person. I drew Tabitha based on what I hear from my clients. This is not an unreal situation for a lot of people with one or all of the things that she's going through, but she's 46, she's female, she's divorced, she works full-time now at home because of COVID, 3 kids, a dog, a cat, a 73-year-old mother living with her. She's fallen twice mom in the past couple months, beginning to show signs of memory issues, refuses to go to the doctor for the issues, A lot of older people say it's normal for women of my age. It's normal for men of my age. It's normal. This is just getting old. Well, it doesn't have to be. She can't afford to go to the doctor. I don't want to spend money at the doctor's, even if she has insurance. She has constant diarrhea from a new medication, fear, anxiety over constant news of COVID-19. Who doesn't have that these days at some point? Tabitha's finding the demands of the dual relationships and the dual roles of being mother, caregiver, homemaker, breadwinner challenging beyond belief. I didn't think working from home would be so exhausting. I just want to scream. Well, I bet you if I said raise your hands, half the audience would raise their hands if they've experienced it. I know I would. So let's talk a little more about Tabitha and her situation. Tabitha is probably feeling, and you may all be feeling, feelings of emotion, anger, frustration, disappointment, fear, guilt, sad, blue, irritable, hopeless, helpless, lack of control, resentful, fear of, oh my God, am I going to be good enough for everybody? How do I manage all my roles? Frustrated. The kids need to be fed. Mom needs to be fed. The kids won't eat vegetables. Mom won't eat kids' food. Oh my God, what do? I forgot to feed the dog. The cat's litter box needs to be changed. I just can't do it all. Oh, and my boss says I have a meeting in 2 hours and I haven't showered yet or gotten up for the day. What am I going to do with all this? All these emotions are running around rampant, and you're trying, as Tabitha is, to figure out, well, what comes first. I love the adage, who's on first, what's on second, and I haven't figured out third yet. I even satisfy the needs of my mom, my boss, the kids? I never feel like I'm doing enough. In all of that, I have no time for me. My hair's a mess. I desperately need a day or more away from it all, but where am I going to get that? How do I get away from it all? How do I just survive, not crack, and not let anybody know that I'm struggling? Because a lot of what we do as moms is we want to be perfect for our kids. We want to set a good example. And well, my mom set a great example for me, so I don't want her to see that I'm struggling to take care of her because she was my rock. Now it's my turn. But how do I be her rock when I can't even function in my own mind? Well, one of the things I suggest to all my clients that I work with is create at least 3 positive mantras about your life. A mantra is something that that resonates with you, that you can say, I'm a beautiful person. I'm strong. I made it this far. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm a survivor. Can y'all take just a second in your own mind and think of something that resonates with you? What can you say about yourself that's positive, that you can believe in and repeat positively? Just take a minute and think of something. You don't have to say it out loud. My homework for you in a fun way would be to figure 3 things out and say them every morning and every night. And during the day, if you have time, and think of something positive. Something, those 3 work, or find your own that resonate with you, because if we find the positivity in the day, it'll make the day better and easier. Another tip, take 5 deep breaths and think of something positive several times a day. Can you think of something positive right now? Great. Thank you, Tim. Everybody, no matter what's going on in the world, hopefully we can think of one positive thing. I know I can, if I dig deep enough, I can find at least one. And then I think about that positive thing and I build on it throughout my day to make the rest of the day a little better. When the sun is shining, and I'm a former New Yorker, so when the sun is shining, I'm delighted. Grew up in the South and you're used to the sun. Well, some days like today, it's not so sunny. When the sun is shining, get out, let it hit your face, let it get into your body, just enjoy the sunshine. I always recommend meditating daily for at least 5 minutes. That means just sitting quietly, listen to your inner voice, listen to the crickets, listen to the birds, just relax and just be. And then set realistic goals for yourself and others. Don't expect that you're going to say to your mom, today you're not going to have diarrhea, Mom, and it's going to happen. That's not realistic, and that's setting you both up for failure. But today, Mom, we're going to figure out how to help you have less diarrhea. Today, we're going to figure out how I can get a 5-minute shower in while you're watching the boys and not wandering off. We're going to figure something out. We're going to make it work. And remember the adage, put your mask on before your child when in an airplane disaster. The same applies to this scenario. Never forget you're not alone, and we'll get through this. No matter what's going on, you're going to get through it. Once you make time for self-care, things will look a lot better. The reason being, you'll be able to see things from a different perspective in a more positive light. When we see things positively, we react positively. When we think of things as negative or disappointing or upsetting, that's how we respond. Feelings and emotions may change. What once was anger, resentment, and frustration now become understanding. They become feelings of disappointment, guilt, hopelessness, sadness. Well, that'll all decrease. You'll begin to gain control, feel less irritable, life will begin to look better. You may even begin to see the sunshine through the clouds. Build your support team. We talk a lot about support teams here. There are many, many people. This group is amazing, and there's always videos and people you can contact. There are people, if you're from another part of the country, there's a support team out there. Just make sure that you know that they're there. There are resources for you. Seek help and advice from professionals. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Asking for help means you're admitting you need something, and that is so powerful. Having a non-family member professional say it is very different and more effective than you. Just like when you were a kid, if your parents asked you to clean your bedroom, no way in heck am I going to clean my bedroom. The neighbor says, hey, I need help picking up the back lawn. I'll be there in 2 seconds. Hold on. Because somebody, not my family, asked me for help. So let's see how my teammates can help Tabitha. Tabitha is amazing. You've heard me talk about Tabitha and all the things that Tabitha is going through. Silver Linings for Seniors provides mental health counseling. We do it via telemental health, which means video. We also do it through audio on the telephone. We do face-to-face, and we can, in your home or in your facility, we take Medicare and other insurances. Counseling and support are so necessary. Doesn't matter who you are or what the relationship is. If you need someone to talk to, there is someone out there. And because of COVID-19, Silver Linings is also not just working with seniors and caregivers, but younger people as well, because we think that all adults need someone to talk to at least once. So I really appreciate you taking time to listen to this series and watch this. This is so important. There'll be time at the end for questions. I just appreciate you being there and talk to an aging life professional. I'm going to pass the mic on to Vivian McLaurin, Preferred Living Solutions. She does an amazing job as an aging life care person, and she does it from a holistic perspective. She is just fantastic. I can't recommend her enough. So please, I pass the mic on.
Thank you, Anne Marie. I appreciate that. And certainly we value Silver Lining services. It's something that everyone can benefit from, just to have that professional that they can talk to and share their feelings and know that they're in a safe space and they can just express how they're feeling. I think it's very important for aging seniors and for their family members, their caregivers as well. It's a very valuable service. So I'm a geriatric care manager, or a little fancier title is aging life care professional. And so what does that mean and what do I do? I sit and hold space for someone, for Tabitha, for all of the many caregivers and family members, neighbors that are helping care for our seniors. We take a holistic approach, as I think Tim mentioned, and that we look at, of course, what's going on with someone's physical health, but also all the different ways that we can help people have a good day, a purposeful day, a meaningful day, and that everyone can get their needs met to the extent possible. We describe ourselves as people that connect the dots. We sit with Tabitha and we give her time to tell her story. That's our initial consultation. We can do that face-to-face now. We do it by Zoom frequently. We can also do it over the telephone. And one of the questions that I ask as Tabitha's telling me her story, if I could do one thing today that would make life better for you, what would that be? And that's usually where we start. And that often means that they need some help. They need an extra pair of hands. Um, Actually, from my perspective, they need a circle of support. It takes a team. And so that can take many different forms. We take a little bit of time and get to know Tabitha's mom and what she likes and dislikes and what's going to help her, which in turn is going to help Tabitha. Um, we can do as much or as little as our clients want us to do. In this case, Tabitha may need someone to just help connect her to some services that will help her support her mom, look after her kids, do her job, and find a little time for self-care. Um, in other cases, she may actually need someone to be an emergency backup. You know, heaven help. What if she gets sick? What if she gets COVID and has to be isolated from her mom for a little while? We can help put those resources in place. We can collect all the information about mom so that if we need to sit on a telehealth doctor visit with her, we're informed and we can share information and represent Tabitha's voice as the daughter. Um, Eventually, I think we'll be able to go back to going to doctor's appointments, and that's one thing that we can do. We can meet folks at the doctor's office. We can transport them to the doctor's office and allow Tabitha to do her work, to have her business meetings and ask her questions, and then share information back with her about the content of that doctor's visit. And then we also can help that circle of support, which almost inevitably includes some caregivers, to help them find that time for self-care and to find the resources. As Tabitha's mom's journey progresses, she's likely to need different things at different times, and we can be on that journey and help find those resources. And when I say resources that help Tabitha, that help mom, it's things very much like silver linings. It's very much home care. That's one of the first tools in my toolbox that I suggest, that even if it's a caregiver that comes in just to start a few times a week, a few hours, a few times a week, that gives Tabitha that little bit of a break from preparing a meal or doing the laundry or just sitting and playing some games or listening to music with mom, to give Tabitha a little bit of time off. That's very important. We also suggest sometimes that it would be good for mom to be able to get out of the house for a while. And sometimes that can include some adult day programming, and that can be so refreshing for everyone in the family. Gives them new things to talk about at the end of the day. And then the other thing that I always recommend to family caregivers is to think about participating in a caregiver support group. It's incredible the amount of support that you can get when you are aligned with people that are walking on the same path that you are, and that they can share resources, and you really can understand each other. So with all of that said, I'd like to pass the mic over to Gina Murray with Aware Senior Care, because as I said, home care is such, it's just a relief to family caregivers. It's just a relief.
Oh, thanks, Vivian. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Yeah, definitely. We got into home care to help people thrive in their homes. And these past 3 months have really been amazing. There's been more requests than ever for help at home. And it's from people like Tabitha. Doesn't sound like maybe mom has lived with her very long. So that's added a new dimension. She's working at home, balancing the kids, and trying to satisfy her mom's needs. So again, just like Vivian, we take a holistic view. Who's currently on the team? And right now it sounds like a team of one with Tabitha. So if she's got some support, she's got a counselor she can talk to with Anne-Marie, and you've got Vivian running quarterback, making sure all the pieces in place. we can come in and say, find the right fit. So the big things with home care is finding out what the needs are. What does the mom want? What does Tabitha want? And what are the needs? And finding the right personality as well as skill set in the caregiver. So with home care, if you don't care for the caregiver, we remove the caregiver. So we can't always predict if chemistry is going to work, but we do promise that we'll always respond and try to make that fit really well. So we would talk to Tabitha and her mom and see, what does she enjoy? You know, maybe mom who's used to living in her own place is used to doing the laundry. She's used to making the meals. She can't do that by herself anymore, but she can do it with the caregiver. And then you have the dual purpose of the mom feels purposeful. She's helping out. We're taking some of that burden off of Tabitha. You know, how about if mom and the caregiver take the dog for a walk and they get that sunshine and Tabitha gets that little quiet time. So home care is basically what that person needs, what that family needs at that time. And it can go up or down. It can be more or less depending on the situation. So socialization is a really important part of that. And we do recommend on many occasions that sometimes adult daycare is really what would suit the mom. It'd be great for her socialization. She's also perhaps out of the house for a length of time to give Tabitha time to do some work or have her own time. So that's a little bit about home care. So I'd like to turn it over to Marcia to tell us all about Sarah Care.
Thank you, Gina. So yes, Tabitha's story is certainly one that I've heard many times as well. And, you know, bringing the social component into a senior's life is very important. But it's equally important for a little space between caregivers and the one that they love. So by people coming to the center, they can, you know, participate in activities. Gina talked about, you know, tapping into finding out what people enjoy doing. And that's exactly what people can do at an adult daycare center too. We can tap into activities that would be of interest and of their abilities while they're spending a little time with other people. Adult daycare centers right now are operating a little bit differently, of course, with COVID, but there's still opportunities for people to be able to participate in group settings, albeit much different today. So with adult daycare centers, there's a lot of activities that can be provided. There's always lots of food that's served as well, so you know the nutritional needs can be met. And all of the adult daycare centers also have nurses on staff full time, as well as nursing assistants, so they can get the physical needs met, as well as those emotional needs that come through the social component of it. Adult daycare centers work really well with in-home care because it does give that caregiver a genuine break. Sometimes we just want our house to ourselves, and you know, by doing that, by bringing somebody to an adult daycare center, that can give that caregiver maybe just a little opportunity to pause and to catch their breath and perhaps take that oxygen first, like Anne-Marie had opened up with. So there is lots of opportunities for socialization and for care just by looking at the level of needs that the individual has. An adult daycare center can provide those for somebody like Tabitha and other caregivers. That's a quick overview.
Thanks, Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
So before I kick into the Q&A for this team, and I'm going to turn it over to Michael Kilgore, our office administrator, who's been a great MC for us, and he's been gathering questions for the audience. You may ask yourself, can this work? I'm not sure I can do it. The answer is it absolutely can work. And I'll give you some personal examples. My mom, who is in a community right now in Cary, and part of her journey, when I first moved her down here from New York into a community, she was lonely. And I found Sarah Care and Marcia, and we integrated adult daycare. And it was kind of a fun conversation. It was kind of my mother's looking at me saying, I remember I sent you off to daycare. And I said, yeah, Mom. And now it's payback time. But seriously, she was a little hesitant. And the way Marcia works, there's kind of an orientation and a slow process. You get used to it. But after a while, she was like, when am I going back to Sarah Care? Yeah. And she enjoyed it. And she enjoyed the personal relationships. And it was a great part of the overall plan. And then I mentioned at the beginning of the call that my mom went through, it's a transition. You go into community, and there was some depression. And it was recommended to me to engage Silver Linings. And I already knew of Silver Linings. And I check in with Mom later. She says, "Oh, someone comes to see me." I said, "Really, Mom? Who?" And she said, "Her name is Pat." It's like, "Oh, you know where she's from?" Well, no, but she's really great to talk to, and she listens to me. So it can work, and if you're overwhelmed, then reach out to someone like Vivian. It's great to have a wingman and say, this is your problem. Help. Can you help me? And the answer is going to be absolutely. And what additionally, they'll do research on your part, whether you're considering moving to a community or you're in home, it doesn't matter. Adult daycare, it can work. So I just wanted to share that. So for the remaining 10 minutes, we're going to open the floor to questions. And Mike, I'd like to hand it over to you to kick it off. And if you would start just put some questions out there for the team.
Fire away. No, we did have some questions. I can really appreciate the passion that everyone here has for not only the elderly, but the caregivers as well, because that's so needed. We did have a few questions coming. As I said, one of the people is asking, is caregiver burnout normal? Because they feel like they have nothing else to do but this. Is that a normal thing? Miss Anne-Marie, I think that one was directed to you. Yeah, I mute you there. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, caregiver burnout is normal. Burnout comes from a lot of different things coming at you at once and doing it for a prolonged period of time. You're normal. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means that you might need someone to talk to, or you might need a break from the everyday, meaning getting someone to come in, a caregiver, and give you some free time. But it is absolutely normal, and please don't worry about it. It's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. We all have burnout. Think about jobs. We get burned out from our job. We get burned out from life. It who we are.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Especially during this time, it seems like even more so.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Miss Vivian, there's a question that came in for you. So how can so my mom is up and around, they're saying, around at the house at night. How can I help to get her to sleep so that I can get some rest?
Right. That's very important, because I know if I don't get my sleep, my patience level is short, and I don't have a whole lot of energy, and it's hard to get creative about solutions. So it's really important. And our elders can sort of get their days and nights mixed up, especially if they, like Tabitha's mom, has some confusion, and she's got some physical side effects from a medication going on. And so that's where home care can really be of great assistance. I would recommend for Tabitha that she consider someone from my home care agency, like Aware, to come in the morning, help mom get up, get some breakfast, get cleaned up, and stay busy, to have some activity, and to sort of have mom have a routine that feels good to her and feels normal, so that when night comes, she's tired and she's ready to rest and she's ready to sleep. And if the side effects from the medication are still going on, and that's making mom get up and down, going to the bathroom at night, and Tabitha having to get up to help her, sometimes that's where a care manager can step in. I could call the doctor's office and advocate on behalf of Tabitha and her mom that we're trying to make this medication work, but it's got some bad side effects. And so can we figure this out together? But all in the spirit of mom needs her rest. Tabitha definitely needs her rest, and routine is helpful to everyone.
Yes, thank you very much. To Gina then, so it sounds like home care is pretty much what I need. Is this something that's covered by medical insurance, or what's the cost of home care?
So home care is not covered by medical insurance. Bathing, dressing, grooming is not considered medical. So if folks have long-term care insurance, it sounds like they would qualify for it. Every policy is a little bit different. So it is private pay. And depending on the agency, if agencies run from the mid-20s, $25 an hour, private caregivers a little bit less than that. Both have pluses and minuses. And we're very upfront about the costs and explain it to the families. And that's why sometimes we'll say, gosh, if you need this many hours, adult daycare might be a better solution for you if cost is really a concern.
Good, thank you. So that actually leads right into the next one. So considering adult daycare, Ms. Marcia, is Sarah Care open? And if yes, what kind of precautions are the staff taking with social distancing and everything along those lines?
So Sarah Care has been very fortunate. We've been open during the entire time. And we, immediately took measures to try to minimize exposure. We haven't had visitors in the center since early March. But what we're, currently doing and have been doing is health screenings upon arrival. We have a lobby, so we can have just the participant and their family member in the lobby. Anybody else that may be coming in at the same time have to wait in their car or outside until we successfully check somebody in. But temperatures are taken. We, over the last few weeks, have started doing pulse oximeter checks for checking oxygenation levels with people. And then we do hand sanitizing upon arrival. And of course, we're always asking the question, how are you feeling? Anybody sick in the family? Those kind of questions. I think we all have a little questionnaire fatigue, but we're still asking those kind of questions. In terms of social distancing, what we did is we removed most of the furniture in the room so that we have minimal seating now. And I'll take, for example, our living room used to have 20, 23 people that could sit there at any one time. We now have 10 chairs, so that's max for that room. And we've done the same thing with our dining room. Our tables used to have four per table, now they have 2. Staff wear masks when social distancing is not possible. So that's with health screening, that's with any restroom or care needs, or if somebody's just sitting at a table, playing a game with somebody, the staff have masks on. Hand washing continues. Hand sanitizer goes around all day long to folks. And we clean the center at least 3 times a day, which is all the surface cleaning and everything. So there's a lot that's been put into place. We've been very fortunate. I say both blessed and luck that we've not had anybody sick, and we'll continue with these measures for a long time to come. So that's what we're doing. We let families make their decision. I am always 100% honest with them. Maintaining 6 feet distance at all times is not possible, but we do look at what is reasonable. And we also, have had a couple of people that we had to let them know that they couldn't come right now just because their behaviors are such that was a concern in terms of, personal boundaries and, not really being aware of your own space. And the families have been understanding of that. So that's what we're doing in today's world.
Sounds good. Appreciate all the hard efforts.
Yeah.
Doing that so much. Miss Vivian, someone had asked, sometimes I need to just get out of the house for a little while. Is it safe for me to take my mom with me when I do errands, or do I need to leave her at home?
I think that's a a hard question. We are so protective of our loved ones, and we certainly don't want to leave them home alone and worry about something happening to them. I think that the health guidance right now is that our seniors are our most vulnerable population in terms of the effects of COVID if they were to get sick. And I also want to give a shout out to just having a little time in the car by yourself as the caregiver. So I think I would think about the errands that you need to run, or if you just need to get in the car and drive on the highway for a little while with the radio turned up, to consider some adult day programs, or to have that home care, to have that caregiver stay home with your mom, with your loved one, and let you run your errands and have a little bit of quality time apart.
I like that quality
Sounds
time
good.
apart. Miss Anne Marie, sounds like someone's saying that sounds like they need your help. So how soon can I talk to someone? Like, how soon can I talk to someone, and how soon can I get help?
Absolutely great question. We have therapists available right now taking clients, whether it's in the home, in a facility, if the facility will allow mental health counselors in, and we have an office here people can come to and carry, and we do telehealth. There are people available. You could see someone is in less than a week if you reached out. And certainly check out our website. We all of our team players here have websites. Ours is silverliningsnc.com. That'll give you some contact information and a referral form, and you're welcome to fill that out. We'd be happy to talk with you further about that when you're ready, as early as today. Thanks for asking.
Thank you.
Mike, I think I have one time for one more question. We're at that 40-minute mark, so a good time to wrap up.
So the family member saying, so my loved one has Parkinson's. I've tried other options and they hasn't been a good fit for them. So the question is, how can home care, so I guess directed to Gina, so how can home care help my loved one specifically because of their Parkinson's during this COVID time?
Right. Parkinson's will add extra challenges. So we make it a point to make sure that our staff is well educated in Parkinson's and the needs. One of the things with people that live with Parkinson's is their medication has to be taken on time. It makes a significant change in their status if they don't take it on time. Knowing their physical challenges. So we make sure that the caregivers are very educated, that they know how important the exercise is, and saying, no, I don't want to do my exercise. For some of us, it might have less of an implication. For people with Parkinson's, if they don't do that movement, it can be really challenging for them. It can cause serious falls. So for home care, we would make sure that the caregivers that go to see that client understand those needs of Parkinson's specifically. And we try to keep our teams down to minimize who they're seeing during this COVID time. So they're not going client to client, if that's your client, that's who you're going to see.
And for Parkinson's, for those on the call that interested in that, we had a great webinar last week, and that recording is available up on our website. You can go to our blog and you type in Parkinson's, and you'll be able to hit it and watch the wonderful team. So at this point, I would like to to wrap up from a logistics standpoint. Or the recording will be available probably most likely tomorrow morning, and we will email out the link to the recording to everybody that's participated on this call and is registered. And the other thing, if you have a friend or loved one that you're going, they could benefit from this, forward it to them, because everybody on this team, we all operate as a team. We refer to each other, we help each other, and their phone calls are free. Talk to us, we'll Zoom. We're all about providing the right service, and we get just as much joy when we can refer to somebody else and know that person is taken care of. It is truly a team sport. So Anne Marie, Vivian, and Marcia, God bless you. Always great to see you. That's part of
I
this, guys.
know.
Honestly, there's socialization that's going on right now because we
Yeah.
miss getting out there and seeing our friends. So, you know, we're bringing it live here. So our friends that are out there, thank you so much for joining us. We will continue to do this. And if there's a topic you'd like, or you have your church would benefit, whatever it is, reach out to any one of us. We'd be happy to help. So have a
Absolutely.
great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.